What is up, Hardcore Nation? It's Hardcore Christopher here, and I went through all well, wait, let me actually see if I can get an image. Um, this'll do. I went throughout the past multiple days, I have listened to audiobooks by J.R.R. Tolkien, and for a man that grew up with basically the movies, I actually own one of them, The Return of the King. Um, the books were very insightful. There are multiple Lord of the Rings books that I didn't get to. I was only focusing on The Hobbit, The Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, and The Return of the King. Yeah, those four, because those are pretty much the journey through the third age of Middle Earth. Now, I did hear that Tolkien did a number of things, but first and foremost, let me talk about let me talk about The Hobbit. The Hobbit, how can I put this? I did not mean to do that. The Hobbit it's a prequel. It is a prequel to The Return of the King. Well, it's a prequel to The Fellowship of the Ring. This is going to take some explaining. So, in The Hobbit, the main character isn't Frodo. The main character is Bilbo. And Bilbo goes on an adventure with Gandalf. He meets dwarves and elves, and none of them are really that nice to Bilbo. The Hobbit basically sets up the Fellowship of the Ring. Now, is there a photo here of the... That's the Hobbit. Okay, so no. So, I did not realize this was going to be so difficult. Just give... Okay, so, in the Fellowship of the Ring... Now, wait, yeah. Well, let me go back to The Hobbit just for a second. The Hobbit, I didn't particularly enjoy. I do remember watching an animated movie that cut out a lot of stuff, but I didn't really care for it. There were times where it's just like, oh my, word, when will this end? Now, the Fellowship of the Ring, it was 11 hours and I think 40, and I got through it in 2 days. No joke. And, you see that little thing right there that says a new legend begins? The Rings of Power. I will talk about the Rings of Power in a separate video. Actually, probably right after this one. But the Fellowship of the Ring, I thoroughly enjoyed. I would pick this up. Maybe not read it, but I would definitely listen to it. Now, I am a part of a Facebook group. Yeah, look at all the stuff I have open. I am a part of a Facebook group known as the Lord of the Rings Rise to War, centering around the mobile game for the Lord of the Rings Rise to War. But I had a lot of questions and people were constantly telling me to read the books. Well, what's the point in spending money when I could listen to them for free on YouTube? So I did. Anyway, back to the Fellowship of the Ring. So, the Fellowship of the Ring is... It basically continues where the Hobbit left off. This time, Gandalf is coming to Bilbo for the ring, and Bilbo doesn't want to give it up, so Bilbo threatens Gandalf, Gandalf threatens Bilbo, Bilbo backs down, and agrees to allow Frodo to take it with him on his adventure. Now, the movie doesn't explain this, and I'm glad that I listened to this, but Frodo and Bilbo, their only relation is by adoption. Frodo is adopted by Bilbo, and turns out hobbits live to be freaking, well, really, really, really old. Yeah, but I thoroughly enjoyed this one. Okay. Next is the Two Towers. Oh, hey, that's what I wanted. Found it. The Two Towers is a pact between Saruman and Sauron. They both agree to form an alliance of sorts, even though Sauron, well, not Sauron, but even though Saruman is Sauron's vassal, aka servant. This one just... This one had its moments. This one I really did like. The only thing that I really didn't care for in The Two Towers is Sam. And what I mean by that is Sam's a freaking moron. uh, so, other than that, we go to the final book of the Lord of the Rings. Not of the Lord of the Rings franchise, because J.R.R. Tolkien wrote a lot of books. Which isn't a bad thing. It's just I'm focused on these. The Return of the King. The Resistance. The finale. Very enjoyable. Oh. Actually, I'll do that at the end. Had a thought. The Return of the King ends the way it should have. And that being Sauron's forces being completely destroyed. And who doesn't like Aragorn? And Gandalf. And Frodo. Gollum. There are people that like Gollum, there are people that hate Gollum. Or Smeagol, as he's known. Also. But I really liked The Return of the King and The Fellowship of the Ring and The Two Towers. The only one I really didn't care for was The Hobbit. Now, how does this differ from the movies? Well, I already covered the Hobbit movie that I saw way back when. The Fellowship of the Ring, from what I remember of it, stayed very, very faithful. It even has Boromir telling Aragorn that he tried to take the ring when he was dying. The Two Towers, again, stayed. It stayed very much the same as the book. However, in the movies, we don't see Sam with the One Ring. After Sam and Frodo get into an altercation and they defeat their foe, it causes Frodo to get knocked out. So Sam, thinking that Frodo is dead, again, Sam is kind of an idiot here, takes the ring. He was a ring bearer. He wasn't... That never happened in the movies. The Return of the King is where I think the most changes are in a way. Don't really know what that way is. Oh yes, the cinematic way. The final battle that took place during the Return of the King sees Saruman get stabbed multiple times, but his death is cut. Also, his death was cut on account Peter Jackson didn't really want people to be sitting in the theaters forever, and the movie was already pushing that boundary. Again, the movie is 3 hours long. The book is 6. Um, Correction. There's because it was broke down into 2 parts. Okay, the first part was 7 hours, and the second part was 6. Sorry about that. But Saruman actually dies in the battle. I think he gets pushed off. Another character that was also cut from the movies that is in the book is the Mouth of Sauron. Honestly, from how he's described in the book, well, in the two the 2 towers, makes the Mouth of Sauron seem like a very powerful soldier of Sauron, but the book kind of contradicts itself because the character is known by the moniker the Mouth of Sauron, but then the book goes on to explain that the Mouth of Sauron could have been a wanderer who just fell in love and worshipped Sauron, which makes a lot of sense. Unlike a series I'm going to probably completely obliterate. So Saruman actually dies. Well, in the book, he actually dies in the Shire, I think. Also, when when Merry and Pippin meet Treebeard goes, they're little orcs. And Merry and Pippin go, we're not orcs, we're hobbits. And Treebeard goes, I've never seen a hobbit before. Trying to think of something else. Anyway, I enjoyed the books. I would say I enjoyed the books as equally as I did the movies. So now I guess it's time for me to upload this and make a thumbnail for it, which I think I have the perfect thumbnail right here, in all honesty. Oh, there was one other book that explained like the creation and everything about Middle Earth, and that's called the big long word starting with an S. I accidentally listened to 2 chapters of it, not even meaning to, and it about put me to sleep. So I decided I wasn't going to do that. So, I am Hardcore Christopher. If you would like to be part of our community, hit the subscribe button down below. Make sure you ring the bell and click all for every time I upload a video. And if you don't, it's okay, I still respect you. At the end of the day, I'm just glad that you chose to spend a little bit of your time here with me. Keep it hardcore if you want.